guys, welcome to day one of algebra. The purpose of this video is really just to have a way for you to go back and review what we covered in the notes portion of today's lesson. So every day will be a new number. The A numbering means this is the notes. If you have 1B, 1B means that's a corresponding practice that we usually get done during Learning Lab, or it can be considered your homework. So I will create little videos for all of your notes, so if in the event you get logged off and you need to go back and review, you'll have that ability. Okay, so integer rules are really, should be a review. You should know it by now. If integers have the same sign, meaning if you have 4 plus 7, they're both positive, then the resulting answer is just going to be also positive. Okay, if they're both negative, negative 4 plus a negative 7, then you're going to get a negative 11. Okay, so those are the rules. There's our 4 examples we have here. Let me try one more. Okay, 7 plus, okay, positive 3. You don't usually see that like that, but you could. You'll get a positive 10. Okay, all right, so if you add signs and they're not the same, meaning one is positive and the other is negative, you subtract the absolute value of the numbers and keep the sign of the number with the largest absolute value. So whichever has the most, positives or negative. So if you look at this, negative 7 plus 3, okay, think of negative 7 plus 3 is going to be a negative 4, okay, because if we took the absolute value of negative 7, we would get 7, and we're subtracting them, so 7 minus 3 is 4, but we want to take the sign of the largest, which would be the negative, okay, so that's how we get the negative 4. All right, and we can also think of it as a number line. Okay, so if I had 0 here and we're at negative 1, negative 2, this is negative 3. All right, say I started here and I added 5 to it. Okay, to add 5, I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and we end up with a positive 2. Notice the absolute value of 3, negative 3 is 3. The absolute value of 5 is positive 5. 5 minus 3 is 2, and then we go with the largest number, which is 5. So we're going to make that positive. All right, so here we have negative 5 plus 1. It would be a negative 4 because we have more negatives. And here we've got negative 1 plus 6. That would be positive because we have more positives. Okay, so that's adding integers. Again, this is just a quick review. You should know the rules by now. All right, so if we subtract integers, the rule is to change the subtraction problem to an addition problem, and then by using the rule of adding the opposites, okay? So if I take 7 minus a negative 3, I'm actually just going to change this to be 7 plus a positive 3, and that's how we get 7 plus 3 is 10. Okay, so this would be the same as negative 3 plus, now the opposite of positive 5 would be a negative 5. We use our rule for adding, and we get negative 8. Okay, negative 4 minus a negative 9, we changed it to the opposite. So negative 4, we add a positive 9, and our rule for addition, the largest absolute value would be 9, so this would be positive. Okay, and then 5, we would change this to be a positive, so this would become 5 plus a negative 8, and that's how we get that negative 3. Okay, so that's just a quick review on adding and subtracting. All right, multiplying, remember, the rule is if you have like signs, so if you take a positive times a positive, you're always going to get a positive, okay? A negative times a negative is also going to give you a positive, okay? That went to the next line. All right, unlike signs, if you have a positive times a negative, you're going to get a negative. A negative times a positive is also a negative. So they both have to be the same for it to be positive, okay? So here we have 4 examples. If I took 2 other numbers and I took negative 4 times 6, and you'll see this in algebra, the parentheses, you won't use that multiplication sign as much anymore. So this is negative 4 times 6, which would be a negative 24. All right, our signs are opposite. But if I took 5 times a negative 2, okay, that would be negative 10. If I had 8 times, or negative 8 times negative 6, that would give me a positive 48 because we have a negative times a negative. Okay, so keep in mind if you see these parentheses right next to each other, that's what that means. We're actually multiplying. Okay, All right, and then the same rule is for dividing. Okay, again, a positive divided by a positive is a positive. A negative divided by a negative is also a positive. So again, if both of the signs are the same, we get a positive answer. But if we have different signs, a positive divided by a negative, that's where we get our negative. And a negative divided by a positive is also a negative. Okay, so again, both sides signs need to be the same to get that positive answer. And if they're opposites, then we get that negative answer. Okay, and then we have some examples down below of how we do that, and you're going to see it different ways. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. A negative 12 divided by negative 3, notice the signs are both the same. That's why our answer is positive. Okay, notice with algebra you're going to see too, a lot of times we show division with a fraction bar. So this is negative 10 divided by 2, which we have one negative sign, one positive, we get that negative 5. This is a negative 10 times negative 2, so both of our signs are the same. That's why we get our positive 5 answer. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly the graphing calculator that we use. Okay, so if you're not 100% with integers and maybe you haven't had them yet, we really need to get you caught up. We don't actually teach it in algebra, but let me point you to the graphing calculator that we're actually going to be using this year. So right now we do have something called Desmos. It's DESMOS.com and /calculator. Okay, so this will give you your graphing calculator. All right, now how do you, looks kind of funny. We have a screen here and everything. Right here down in the corner is where we have our keypad. So you're going to click on that like that, and that's going to display, okay, your keypad. All right, so I'm not going to do the right here, but you can write in there and actually have it interpret your writing. But I want to show you how the keypad works. So if I wanted to do a negative 6, I'm going to actually use the minus sign. Okay, so negative 6, okay, times 5, okay, and if you notice the answer here is negative 30. Okay, you can clear out that one, or you can start with another example. Let's try negative 4 times 6 equals, okay, and that's going to give us, let's do an enter here. Okay, that's a new feature that really isn't working out right here, so let's try it a different way. All right, so if I want to do division, I'm going to do say 36. Okay, 36, oops, this is a new feature, Desmos. 36 divided by, let's say negative 6, so negative 6. Okay, notice the answer is right down here, negative 6. Not quite sure why this window keeps popping up. This is a new feature, but notice there's your answer right there. So this whole bottom part, you can actually do your integer calculations using your subtraction key as your negative, okay, and looking here at your answer. Okay. All right. So I hope this little video helped. It's not going to be exactly what we do in class, but hopefully it helped you out a little bit. Bye. Thank you.